Hey guys, so we're gonna do a spirit talk this morning. I'm kind of waking up. I have a big week, for Labor Day weekend as well. I'm gonna be very busy, but with clients, I got a lot going on. But after this, I'm gonna dive in and get to work. And I'm up very early. I had a early, kind of sleep. I had a lot of things. Yesterday I had the 6 year anniversary of the group Spiritually Intuitive Readings. That is on Facebook. Same name as the YouTube. If you would like to come join my group, love to have you. If you're on Facebook, go join my group. It's a pretty big group. If you want free readings, you're always welcome to ask for a free reading. I do advertise in it. That's normally where I do maybe my advertising, if I'm kind of doing any kind of offerings. But if you just want a free read, if you don't want to pay for it, nobody's obligated to. Everybody's always welcome to ask. I have a team of readers, lots of people that can get to you and get you a message. So anybody who wants to join. But yeah, I had the 6 year anniversary. I just kind of thinking tonight, sometimes anytime I especially hit an anniversary, kind of what things have I learned? Because I'm always, even though maybe I'm doing a lot of teaching, reading, guidance for people, I do kind of look at what have I learned over these years? What have people taught me from reading for them? But there was a situation I was kind of sitting here thinking about tonight, and I'm like, let's do a spirit talk out of it because this would be a good one. And matter of fact, as I'm getting ready to discuss that, let me get a relevant card because this is what it kind of came down to when I was kind of sitting here and had a bit of a session with somebody. So I have a good friend who I also read for as well. And I do sometimes, sometimes she's coming for paid read, but I will do a lot free, especially for friends. I do try to get that guidance. But she messaged me a few days ago, and she was concerned because one of her children and hopefully she doesn't mind me. I think she'll be okay. I'm not going to get into detail or mention name, but one of her children who is, let me just see if I can find the card because I want to get ready to explain. That's what I want. Okay. But one of her children who is 13 is going through a situation. They were definitely, they're kind of getting bullied at school. And you know how that, the age of 13 is hard when you're in school. Especially if anybody's dealing with bullying, difficulties, how that can be. And it's always very red flag concerning. Nowadays, parents need to really, if a child is going through anything like that, really be in their corner, talk to them, talk to schools as well, all of that. If there's any counseling, get it. And that is such a hard, critical time. And these things, as you guys know, if you're adults and grown, just how that impact, it's real easy to still remember and be haunted if you were bullied by or had any kind of conflict with anybody in school, just how hard that is. But also the child is also it looks like gay, identifying as gay. They are also dealing with that. So there's a lot with identity and challenges. The great thing has a supporting mother, which I also told my friend and everything. That's one of the main things is when they come home, they are accepted, they are loved. One of the big things, but still, having to go through challenges in school is hard. So she kind of came to me on chat and I said, you know what, if you want, I'm willing to do a video chat. If you'd like me maybe kind of talk to you both, just give a little bit of basic guidance. So she was like, oh yes, and so put me on video chat. And I kind of talked with the little one a little bit about some things, which I know she was kind of shy to be on camera. She'd aim the camera and she'd go like this. And I'm like, it's okay, aim it at the wall just so she can hear me. That's good. And so, but I kind of, asked, how do you feel? Do you want to be in school? Do you want to be homeschooled? What would you like to do? And she's like, well, I want to be in school. I want to be with my friends. There's still friends there. And I'm like, good. And I'm like, actually, that's great. That's great that, you're going to be brave and you want to go and things. But one of the things, I kind of gave, is, I know it sounds like a very simple guidance, but I said, no matter what, when you're going to school, you're walking through the halls, whatever it may be, hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Be strong, hold your head up high, be proud. It can be very hard, but one of the things, there's a lot about energy, even the way you carry yourself. Those, no matter what's going on, when you keep your head up high, and you keep strong and kind of project a certain energy, it can be a little different than if you're like this. If you're, that's just, that energy can cause bullies really to pick up, or pick on you and stuff. But I'm like, do this, hold your head up high, keep it, no matter what, where you're walking, don't do this, don't drop, don't cower, don't try to shrink small that energy. And a lot of that, say why young people and even people our age may do that, so hoping they're not seen, hoping they're, you know, that's kind of, but that also can create an energy. But when you do this, it's a little different. It does, project a different thing. And also learning to stand up for self. That's the hard one, is sometimes having to stand up for self. But I did a little bit of an oracle read, and this is where we're going to kind of come into a bit of a spirit talk. A little bit of oracle, kind of talked about some things, kind of do my little bit of guidance. But the end card was this one, and I want to show you that card. And that card is acceptance. And this is so much of a core issue, not only for the young, but even when we get older. This is a big thing on the spiritual path, right there, acceptance. And so and as that, kind of card kind of came in, that's what, especially kids in school, that's what it's about. Really, love, of course, people want to be loved, but people want to be accepted for who they are. And this is such a core theme right now that is even going on within the collective, within society, what's going on. And when people do not feel accepted for who they are, that it's the healing, has to be there, but being so wounded, being so broken, brought down, if we're not accepted, and one of the things, of course, any child born into a family, they want love. They also want acceptance from their parents. Everything kind of revolves around that. There's always a certain relation dynamic with the parents being accepted, for who they are, because, and parents, as, and many can be well-intentioned, kind of molding and shaping the child, certain things, reward, punishment, right, wrong, teaching certain things, obviously if they do this, oh, you did great, kind of feeding that. If they do something the parent, doesn't want them to be doing, no, and there could be feeling a little bit of a rejection kind of thing with certain things. And so much of that formation, especially by parents, is very critical. But accepting, that wanting and desiring acceptance, especially from parents, a lot of that comes at the core. And we definitely know what happens if a parent is rejecting a child in any way. And it's certain, there could also be dynamics. Say a mother or father has multiple children, and one gets a lot of favoritism, and the other one is getting rejected in various ways, not being accepted for who they are. Somebody's getting more attention and everything. Now, I will say, and this is probably why things never got well and healed. Definitely a situation with me and my sister. This kind of stuff happened in my own family, I hate to say. In the situation, my sister is older, she's about 13 years older. There was a different dynamic with my mother and her when, like upon growing up. And, and I know my mom messed up with my sister. I will go ahead and say that. There was definitely some things. She had her very young. It was right before her 16th birthday. So pretty much from 17 on, she's raising a child. And, so she's, young, immature. You can kind of imagine certain things fell out with the father. She, I believe, now this is way back in the 50s, but I believe, something happened with that dynamic where she cut off the father and just, he was never involved. I'm not sure how it all worked out. So one of the things, even my sister kind of never knew her father. So this is this was a big thing. Later, my mother got with my father, and he was a little bit older. I came in the picture later, much later. My mom had me when she was 30. So we have this pretty big gap. But when I came in the picture, here's a little bit of a thing. This is technically my bio father, who was the one who had been raising her. She'd been looking up to as her father, and then I come in the picture, and I'm this little baby. Can you imagine? And so she's about 13, and here comes all the attention to the little one. And so, with kind of, and she left about when she was 16. She kept running away. There was a lot of problems at home. My parents, it was just a very negative, toxic. My father drank. They fought. There was a whole dramatic thing going on, which of course, when I'm a baby, I'm not really aware of. Of course, as I grew, I became more aware of certain things. Certain things they shield me from, and then certain moments they did not. But anyway, I was treated different than she was, and so that, as far as acceptance, that was a big thing. Not feeling accepted. Like I said, my mother was very different with her than she was with me, especially when I'm in the little cute years. So this definitely, and this is why I believe we were never quite, after all the parents are passed, and as adults we can never quite come together. There's always that little bit of animus against me for coming in the picture. Okay, so that is definitely something that has always been there, which I always feel like I was always kind of fighting against. None of that was my fault. Okay, none of that was my fault, but it was always there. There was animus for my existence, coming in. But of course there was also against, my mother for also, certain things, the way she kind of treated us different, very, different. Was it because we had different fathers? Was it because it's real hard to say, how, that kind of comes down. But the moral of the story is a lot of it, we want to be loved, absolutely, but we want to be accepted for who we are. And we are constantly throughout our lives seeking acceptance in some way. When I met my catalyst years ago on the path, when I just, and I always called him the catalyst, one, because when he met me, he said that's what he was. And I started learning about all this spiritual stuff. But he was kind of going through a divorce at the time. There was, he was definitely wounded, and he was going through his own thing. But he was starting to get on the dating scene, little bits by bits. Toward the end, when the divorce was finalizing, he definitely felt his soulmate was out there. That was his kind of thing, and we were definitely very close, good friends. But we were more soul bro and sis, is what it was. But he finally, found one young lady. Back then, young lady, she would be much older now. But when they kind of met up and had that date and certain things, everything seemed to flow very easy. She was meeting his list. He was working on his manifestation. He was doing all that stuff. He was into this. And there's a point, and I've always kind of thought of this convo that he said he had with her, but they're kind of sitting in the car, and various things that were kind of going on in the conversation. But he said to her, and I think this is what really did it for him, that he knew this was the one. He kind of said, "Thank you for accepting me." And that's what he kind of said to her. And what she said in response was, "It's so easy." And I always thought of that, like, there's that's what it's about. Especially even in our relationships, love is a big thing. Absolutely, being loved. We think of love as an emotion, affection, kindness, all of that. A lot of times people will say, "I want love. I want love." That's true, but I want acceptance. And that's what really he wanted, be accepted. His first wife wasn't really accepting him. A lot of complaints. You do this wrong. You do that. I'm not happy. You don't make me happy. All that. And I'm sure some of you have heard that before. I'm not happy. You don't make me happy. Maybe there's some name calling. There's this. You need to change this about yourself. I'm sure you've all been there where somebody has tried to say you need to change something. And now sometimes that's not necessarily wrong. I don't want to take certain things off the table, that there may be things we do need to change about ourselves. That's about learning, growing, and improving. We want to be improving, but this is one of the big things, is to be accepted, you know, for who we are. But at the same time, at the same time, we also have to get past certain things of even desiring acceptance from others. In other words, if others reject us, who we are, what we stand for, what we believe in, our soul, our core, whatever it may be, letting go of the need for others, to accept us in some way. The fear of it. We also have to be accepting that as we are on 3D Earth, Earth is school. It's there can be conflict and things, that there are going to be challenges, that not everybody, buddy is going to appreciate our uniqueness. That's going to happen. And even when you come on a spiritual path like this, which is not necessarily the norm accepted in society, if you're on a path like this, we look at, say, the conservative Christian can be kind of, well, it's starting to, you know, where it was kind of the norm. Certain things are changing, of course, they are, because there are other people that are not accepting that, um, with various things. But anyway, when you're going on a unique path, you're kind of standing in your own power. This is who I am. This is what I believe. And of course, yes, just like the young lady, I kind of, we had a video chat with a friend and her, people that are, that maybe, they are part of LGBTQ, or maybe they're transgender, or, people are identifying with something, different and unique, that is not necessarily, what you could say, what society would say is normal, acceptable, or whatever it may be, however you want to define that, but a lot of people at that core, to be accepted is a thing. And then we do have a societal thing, being accepted by society, being able to walk among, all the herd and the people, without everybody rejecting us or going, who are you, or you're not a part of this, whatever. It's very frustrating. But, there's also more power, in kind of coming out as an individual without fear. And the more people do this, then we can learn, at everything. We're not all meant to be the same. What a boring world it would be. Now, we also know, obviously one of the things, with, various different cultures, various different races, this has been going on forever, since the beginning of time. Certain people rejecting that, you're not as good as, the attitudes that people can have. It can be, very frustrating. And just people, I just want to be accepted as I am. What makes you better than me? What, all that, just, but the soul struggling, always striving, to be, a part of something, is just, it can be such angst to feel constantly rejected for who you are, especially at your core, is just one of the biggest things. So I thought about that just so deeply, just that, to be accepted. And then just even kind of flashing back, having that memory from many years ago, thank you for accepting me. It's so easy. Why isn't it easy for others to just accept people as they are? Why can't we do this? And so, now I know certain things maybe are not acceptable behavior in society, especially people are hurting people and stuff. I'm not going to talk about that. That's, of course, certain things we can't accept, certain things like that. People are hurting people, traumatizing people, absolutely. But, people just at their core, who they are as a human being and a human soul, flaws and all, warts and all. You've heard that saying before. People, want to be accepted. If we look at, and I know I'm going to get a little wee bit controversial when I say things, just a wee bit, and I want to be very careful how I word this because I'm on YouTube. I know one of the big things, that has been a serious problem for quite some time now, ever since really probably the 90s. But, like back in the day, when I was going to school, this really wasn't an issue. But one of the things we've had is like school shootings. Columbine really kind of kicked off something, and this year has been pretty bad. These the young people going into school, and you know what has happened with that. Like I said, I'm just trying to be very careful. But it looks like, maybe some of these kids, maybe they were kind of rejected, outcast, bullies, and I'm not making excuses for any of that. I'm not. Nobody should do that. They should know better. They should know better. You know, but there could there be some kind of core, some anger, hostility, especially if bullied, put down, and so forth. Not being accepted by others, and then turning into a very, there's some kind of anger, rage, and then say going back to these places and doing what they have done. This is definitely, there could be, it could be at that core part of the issue, absolutely. That some kind of anger, rage, I wasn't accepted, I was rejected, and not only that, but maybe treated with hostility, by others, beat down, intimidated going to school, various things like that. There's probably, some issue, some ugliness projected. And we know this is a dynamic that can happen in schools, which is, even as I was talking, and kind of talking to my friend and their child about this issue, how difficult. And we know that, it's going to be a not so common case that this happens. But there does seem to be this kind of growing thing, though, that there's this, not only at the core, I'm sure, is some kind of hurt, pain, but then also rage. Rage can emerge from that. There's a deep wounding that can happen just from that overall rejection that goes on, and the way it impacts people. So this is especially another reason, that I would like, see schools really working and trying to have kind of groups and social groups and educate, so we can accept people that for their differences, try to teach about it. But I know, unfortunately, one of the challenges we have going on, there are, say the government is trying to butt into schools and control teachers. Don't say gay, and don't do this, don't talk about, various things, really trying to hold them back, on being able to kind of deal with any kind of those issues, which is only isolating it and making kids feel more rejected, especially when you have, especially with the LGBTQ, governments really, you've got leaders, political leaders, trying to make them feel that they are not accepted in society. And this is hard, but also, especially at the core on a spiritual level, which really a lot of heavy wounding goes for anybody, whether they are faithful or not, whether they have a belief in God or not. But still, especially maybe teaching that God, here we go, God is not accepting of certain things. And this especially, and it's not, and I'm not even going to just say that this is a Christianity problem. This dynamic has been held over the heads of many people in many different religions all over, as far as being accepted even by an almighty creator or spirit, however you want to identify that spirit, that this, is a thing, that God can't look on sin because of you doing this, that, all of that. And constantly always trying to be loved and accepted, by this creator spirit. There are people in turmoil right this minute, either young or grown up, or even in the elderly age, that are fearful. That what if I die and I cross over and I'm rejected? Ultimately, the ultimate rejected, sent to a fiery place. That I'm not accepted and let into the kingdom of heaven. It's all about acceptance, guys. And just think, and this is what frustrates me very deeply at my core, is especially that many people, that especially are walking in fear, that they're not good enough, that there's something wrong with them, that they're not loved. That is, a very damaging kind of thing. But one of the things also, especially when people are finally they're just exasperated, they, maybe their marriage fell apart, maybe their whatever, everything just all comes crumbling down, all the years of trauma from, the family, or maybe from schools, or maybe from friends, or all of it, it just all kind of comes crashing down. And it just finally, to get on that healing journey. And one of the big things is even self-acceptance, to be able, God can, I mean, there are people also walking around because of various trauma, constant rejection, that have self-hate, that hate themselves, that just, don't want to be who they are. Don't, I don't like the way I look, I don't like my hair, I don't like, I don't like my body, I don't like my skin, I don't, I just, it can turn into an internal self-hatred and even punishment at the core, destructive kind of behaviors, things, just misery, depression, and all of that. So, but one of the things, the big thing in which I really want, I feel one of the biggest messages, really trying to get out there, if I can, the possible way, is that spirit, you know, loves and accepts and is always welcoming of us. Like, is always kind of, just like even when I look at the tarot, offering that cup, offering that beautiful, pure cup. It's constantly there, offering that love, and saying, yes, I accept you. I love you. You're my child. I made you. I created you. I don't make mistakes. A spirit does not make mistakes. So the way they created you, you're perfect as you are. You're perfect the way they designed you, the way you look, whatever culture, race, wherever they put you in a certain place, everything. And they've always been welcoming, accepting of who you are. It's always been there. And so, especially when people get on that finally I guess you could say the right path for them. Let's put it that way. And finally make that connection, that divine connection, which I hope all can get that inevitably, somewhere on the path, finally, when they're just kind of surrender to that, and have that moment to know, oh, I am loved. I am loved, that there is this being that does love me and accepts me, and is welcoming me. That to know that, and finally have some of that peace, it can be one of the biggest things. But also, don't forget, guys, spirit is also working through us, and it's important, especially if you are a spiritualist, to show the divine through you to the best of your ability. I know we're not always perfect people. It can be, difficult and a challenge to do, but it's one of the things we want to do, is try to show the divine through us in some way. We got to stop rejecting people for who they are, what they believe, whatever it is, how they look and all this. The judgment is so crazy that is out there. And I know, certain things going on with the collective, especially with, sometimes I like to say, the man always is trying to kind of feed in that, always trying to reach for that kind of bar of, finally I'm accepted, finally, I'm acknowledged, something, about myself, whether I have a talent, or, I have something special about myself, or something unique, whatever it may be. But this is a lot of the core thing. And this also kind of gets that, that inner child work, that's really the big thing. That inner child is just always just wanted that, just to be held, loved, accepted, is scared alone, is out there, and needs to be reclaimed, is a thing. But yeah, I thought about that, just how that card, and it just really kind of hit me. That's the core issue. That's the problem. And damn society for, rejecting others, making them feel less than, making them feel not good enough, all of those things. That this is a very sad thing. I just always think, anyone who's ever rejected you, or if they made you feel a certain way, you're not a part of something, is it's a difficult place to be. It's a difficult place to be. And like I said, this doesn't say that there isn't things we should work on, improve on. We should always be trying to improve ourselves and be better people. Of course, we do want to do that. There's, maybe, things to work on. Maybe I wasn't so nice to somebody the other day or something. Maybe just we all make mistakes and stuff. But self acceptance, we got to get to that point. We have to get there. To be able to kind of love and accept. Even as a spiritualist, just even in the last, few years, 6 years or so, where, I started being much more, say as a reader, kind of coming out. This is me in all my glory. This is me as a spiritualist, some of my beliefs as a reader. It's a big thing, kind of, say going on YouTube or going on Facebook and coming out kind of as I am. I know definitely, like, say if I went into certain Christian areas and I started talking about my stuff, I definitely I'm going to get rejected. I mean, hands down, But, I kind of had to sit there and be like, I got to kind of come out as I am, with certain things and just be myself. That's all I can really be. The great thing is, certain people, have accepted, but I know I'm going to, have people that maybe reject, misunderstand, what we can be as spiritualists about. We always take that, but just, we got to, just like I was saying, come, not only stand in our power and hold our head up high, but I mean, we have to do that. And inevitably we got to do that. We can't be walking around, say you got your books and you're walking through the hallway like this all the time, like somehow ashamed, of who we are. We should not be doing that. We should not be doing that. That's not what we came here. That's not part of the soul contract, is to walk around in shame, hiding who we are, and being that way. So it is hard, one of the things to let go of, the desire and the need, which it's always going to be very hard to fight. I will always admit that. The desire and need to be accepted by whatever. If it's my family, we always hear about the black sheep syndrome. Nobody wants to be the black sheep, of course. Though people are starting more and more to embrace their black sheepness. But, or maybe, in a marriage began to be rejected, not accepted. Oh, you've gained weight. Oh, this, what, the various things that go on. You don't take care of yourself anymore. You don't, when we first met, you did yourself up for me. All that kind of stuff, all that various things. But learning, to be able to have some kind of self-acceptance is a big thing. If I can do that, and if other people don't accept me, well, that's okay. That maybe that's just not my person. That's not going to be, someone of my associate friend. I'm not going to worry about that. But it takes a long time to stand in your power to the point you can fluff things off. And especially young people, it's going to take a long time. First they got to heal the wounds of rejection that they have experienced, which is tough stuff. And getting into that and standing in power. That takes time to do this. And everything. Let's go and pull a little bit of cards, see what kind of spirit has to say about it. I got a few new decks. Let's kind of see what spirit. Oh, this is, yeah, I did a hay house. They have, oh, let me move that out of the way so it'll be weird. They do always look for their half off specials, free shipping. You can get a great deal on cards. One of the best sites, very reputable, is Hay House. But let's kind of look, just some oracle cards. What does spirit have to say? Yeah, look at that, lightning breakthrough. That's one of the big things, for anyone. And a lot of people are trying to wait for that, and they're pushing for that, and sometimes it just happens. That breakthrough moment, and that's especially what I'm hoping for you and anybody watching, many people, to have that kind of breakthrough, lightning. It finally hits. That wow, what I've been doing this all wrong. Seeking acceptance from everybody. And how, the struggle is. So say going for a job interview, you want to get the job, and say if you don't get it, you feel rejected. I'm not good enough. What was it? And just all this stuff that you got to do. You got to prep. You got to say the right answers. You got to present yourself as a professional, or how, it's tough. It's tough, in a world where, being accepted is just, it's that carrot in front of the donkey, always trying to get it. Let's kind of see. I love this. Cloud, imagination. So I kind of look at that with that word imagination is kind of like, just kind of imagine yourself, your best self, kind of coming into your own, a healed person, the best that you want to be, that just being yourself and being kind of free of those kind of constraints and all that pressure, and just kind of, like I said, having that breakthrough, and just imagine yourself a fully healed being, a fully healed soul, that is just living their best life. Imagine that just kind of freedom. Let's see. But also I have the sun, and I also have faith. So I look at that, a lot of times, of course, a lot of times we think of creator as the sun, definitely shining that light, radiance, but also just, having faith in yourself, faith in whatever, however you want to identify spirit is totally fine, and everything, just, having that connection and everything, just believing in yourself. And let's kind of look at what else do we got. I love this. Rain, renewal. Rain, renewal. A lot of times when we think of the elements, this is a very beautiful deck. We just think kind of the rain. I know in, what is it, the movie V for Vendetta, God is in the rain. That just kind of that cleansing, it's kind of this, letting everything, that's been just had a heavy, kind of come down and everything, just that renewal. And we'll pull one more from this deck. And I've also got the card Jasmine, sensuality. Just being kind of, just think of sensual, be sensitive to everything, and also, being able to deal and handle with our, even that little bit of vulnerability. One of the tough things is I always have to be strong, being strong and everything. And yes, we do have to be strong, but also accept, certain aspects of ourselves that are a little vulnerable. Oh, guys, you're not going to believe this. Okay, now this is a brand new deck. I love it when spirit gets loud and clear. Okay, and I shit you not, I just opened this deck tonight. The bottom card, look at it. I'm stunned. And no, I did not rig this. I didn't even know this card was in the deck. Look at that. I love it. See, I love it when spirit is just magical. Acceptance. It was the bottom card on the deck. And I swear to God, I did not put this at the bottom to act like, ooh, look, but no, this is sitting at the bottom of the deck. I'm telling you, see, what spirit kind of, just to explain, what spirit wants, it's like, get up, go talk about this, whatever, whatever it may be, share this message. And I have this happen a lot in my readings. I'll be talking about something, start pulling oracle, and the oracle will just back up everything I said. But I always feel, I know what spirit wants me to say something. You got to be in tune. You got to be in tune. Acceptance, I accept myself. Let's read this card. Let me love and accept myself as you love me. May I find you, this is spirit, shining brightly within my own being. Oh my God, that's so, I love this. I could almost get tears. I feel like my eyes are going, because I love it when I feel spirit heavy in that message. Just like I said, I would just kind of sit there, just kind of, before I start my reads, before I get my clients done, I want to talk about acceptance. And just like I said, that interaction with my friend and her daughter, I love that. That's why I love about spirit. This is a magical world, guys. This is one of the things I want you to understand. And this is something I really try to get out there and express. We are not alone in this universe. Okay, there is a good, loving spirit, and that is above and beyond any kind of religion. Cannot be confined in a book or even in my cards. Of course, this is just a tool. This is a tool. And really, a book of, whether it be scriptures or whatever, still can be helpful, to give, maybe some comfort. I would hope some comfort, right? But cannot be confined to a book. It's certainly not one. Not just one. You're talking too big. But one of the big things, and that, like I said, that message is to know you are loved, you are accepted. And one of the things, like the key, Lordy, to be able, I can accept myself. Spirit accepts me. I can accept myself now. Why have this war within? I don't have to do this anymore. That's what the breakthrough is. But look at that. That's crazy. I love that when spirit comes in strong. This is a big message. So, and I know some of my videos, I'm still kind of growing. I'm still kind of, but if you see this, that's a message spirit wants you to know. You are loved and accepted as you are. And that's, you don't have to fight, struggle, to gain the, what do I got to do to be loved, accepted, or, from you, just, what you fighting for? I've always been here. I've always loved you as you are. And that's really what spirit wants people to know. That's the big thing. Why, why struggle with this? It's society and people that are always saying you're not good enough. You're this, that kind of crap. But it's always been there, guys. I love that. I love. I'm still kind of shocked. I'm still kind of shocked that right when I just kind of pull it. Let's kind of pull some. What? It's right at the bottom, screaming to get that message out and everything. So that's just awesome. That's just awesome. Except, let's just read that one more time. One thing, I accept myself. And I love how she kind of in this image, and this is so beautiful, kind of puts the hand over. Let me love and accept myself as you love me. May I find you shining brightly within my own being. That's so awesome. And I think of that just even, I know there's a big thing, like, say when we think about, there's been a big thing, even went all the way to Congress, with the one woman who worked for, like, Facebook. It talked about, like, say, Facebook, Instagram, how Instagram and young girls are being impacted. There's a lot of, things with certain appearance, and then even ads targeting them, and, to really focus on, their looks, their beauty, and all of that, kind of thing that it's hard. Society is making it harder and harder on the young, to feel not good enough, less accepted. And just like I worry about young people going to plastic surgeons that are wanting to look more like their filtered photos. This is a real thing, guys. To try, I want to be more and more perfect. I want to, fix this, fix that, and everything. And, I especially worry about that. Or say as women get older, we're age gracefully. Let us just wrinkle up. Let me just shrivel up into that old hag and just, I did my time. Let me shrivel up and be that old hag. Let me be my crone self, without, you should lift this and do, and all that stuff. Let me just, age gracefully. And it's such a big thing. I know that there are certain things, say going on in media and advertising. It's like some are trying to adapt and change to that. For instance, you've probably seen some advertisements with women with more realistic body types. Even Victoria's Secret is finally starting to do that a little bit. They're kind of getting in there. Sports Illustrated is some more plus size. Various things are starting to come out. Some people are rejecting of it, but some people are more accepting, and they're like, yes, finally someone who looks like me. It's getting there. The people are trying little bits to do that, because there's not everybody can be a size 2 with boobs this big and legs this long. It's just, the pressure, but constantly, you're not good enough. You got to do this. You got to do that. The struggle is real. The struggle is real, but that's the message. I mean, that's crazy, but that's the message I feel that I just kind of wanted to bring to Spirit Talk is the big thing, like, finally to come up to that place of peace. If anybody, any soul, you, me, anyone, is going to get to a place of peace, is to be able to love and accept ourselves, but also recognize that Spirit's always been right there and always has loved and accepted you and as you are. And like I said, I'm not saying don't work on yourself. Don't I'm not saying that. Don't try to be a better person. You don't have, of course, we always want to try to be a little better than we were. But but that core needs to be accepted. And, God, I definitely don't want to see anybody in this world hating on themselves, or anything like that. I'm kind of being recalled, being just kind of just a story, just something once had happened in the group. This is a few years ago, and when I came into it, because there are times I've scolded the whole group. I have had my moments where I've blown up on everybody. But I remember, the group is definitely there for anybody who wants spiritual guidance, readings, and whatever. That's what it's for. But I remember there was a woman who came in the group, and you know how a lot of times when people go in Facebook groups, they may post a photo for a reading. This is a very common thing. Photos get more attention for a reading. That's just the way I've kind of noticed over the years. That's the way it is. But there was a woman, I got to it a little bit late. Maybe some things were going on, but when I got to it, got to the post and everything, it was just, I was a little behind on getting to it. Or maybe I could have stopped something and intervened a little sooner. But the woman came in, she posted a photo and kind of wanted a reading. And I mean, no judgment by this, because I'm only trying to describe it so you can understand why certain people assumed and got shitty with their comments. But let's just say they assumed that maybe per the image and photo used, that there was an addiction problem. Okay. And and a lot of times it's, with spiritual groups, and I think there's a lot of beautiful, bright souls. A lot of people over the years, post photos, but you know how people can be judgmental. They were a little bit older. I don't think they had a lot of makeup on, wrinkled. They were assuming some maybe hardcore drug use was going on. So all these people start, being kind of hard and rough about that. Started, doing their own, what you could call reading, posting, and there was a lot of judgment. And I believe I saw some comments that they were not, maybe there had been a past issue, but that wasn't the issue. And there was some very harsh shit going on. And then I saw later something with a comment, they left the group. And so when I saw the post, when I finally came to it and I saw the way people were commenting and being with this person, I got on my my pulpit, you could say, got on there, and I just screamed at everybody, on a post, and just kind of let everybody have it. Like, this person comes in to here for healing, guidance, they're looking for the spirit, and you basically rejected them. If we're going to be here giving messages, it can come across to them that even the spirit themselves is rejecting them. And you should all be ashamed of yourself, because where that person was meant to find us here, to get to some kind of healing place, guidance, something to uplift them on the path, you basically gave the opposite message. And of course I banned some people, especially with the real bad comments, and I'm like, y'all should be ashamed of yourself, and stuff. My group is not here for all perfect people, that are all love and light and this and that and meditators and, doing yoga and what the hell ever. It ain't for that, for people to shine in their best self. We're here for, those that need the spirit the most. That's what this is for. And what you did was very fucked up. Very fucked up how you did that. And I was like, how would you like it if you came and did your post and everybody came at you and rejected you and told, and treated you like that? How would you feel? So just had a big old, kind of blowout. And then, and everything. And certain people who were not a part of that, of course, supported the post. And anybody that said anything like that, felt bad, and people apologized and various things. I'm like, that's not the way it is. We want to be open spirit, to give that guidance to everybody. And just to be judging it because of appearance, you're assuming, some things wrong, messed up, I'm not having that shit. That's not what this is about. And just absolutely pissed off, frustrated. Just the way people can kind of assume some things. Now I know, and let me just kind of say, sometimes, maybe people, maybe they, you can tell someone's had a hard life. Let's put it that way. There are going to be, people sometimes you could tell a little bit who's had a hard life. Well, those people need, they need the love, they need the acceptance, they need the guidance to be able to, yeah, yep, you're a part of the spiritual community. Of course you are accepted and stuff. So we never, don't be, don't judge people hard like that and everything. It's just, when see that, that's crazy. And I think I did point out, I know a lot of you, even in this group, have probably fought addiction. I bet a chunk of you have. That's the thing. I know you have. How would you like if somebody treated you like crap because of things? Just don't do that. Don't be like that. Because a lot of times I do see, say, things like addiction. The part of it could be self-hatred and, of course, going unhappiness, depression, and almost punishing the self, punishing the body in ways, trying to escape reality, trying to go numb, because it's hard to be, it's alert, awake, you know, in reality. There's all kinds of reasons and dynamics why people fall into addiction, but there's normally some kind of pain that people are trying to deal with, cope with. There's normally something there. So it's just yeah, it's like, we're not doing this elite club here. I'm trying to do spirits work, not that kind of crap. And that's, if I humanly possibly can do that in some way, that's, the goal, of course. So, but yeah, a lot of it, acceptance, that's the key. So always think about that also, even in your walk too. If you feel that, I guess you could say the spirit of judgment, almost sound like a preacher, judging people or whatever. Just kind of think, why am I doing this? What am I doing there? And kind of, pull back, with that. And I know there's a lot of ugliness, in the world. I know there is and stuff, but always just kind of think of it. I know it's going to take some time before we ever get past some of the ugliness in the world. It's going to take time. I know. Except, but let's just kind of a message, spirit, and I know you've heard it before. A little last whisper before I go off. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. I hope you enjoy my spirit talk.